Hey everyone, SoundPEATS has once again upgraded their Air3 line of earbuds with the Air3 Deluxe HS. Now I never reviewed the Air3 Deluxe, so today is basically going to be a review of the Air3 Deluxe since the HS edition here is basically exactly the same. The only difference is the HS stands for high resolution, so it has LDAC codec instead of aptX, and it has a bronze finish instead. That's about it. So the question I'll be answering today is, should you upgrade if you own the Air3 Deluxe? Maybe you own the Air3, maybe the True Air 2, they're older pairs. So I'll answer all those questions today, but first we'll start with whether or not you should upgrade from the Air3 Deluxe. And to answer that question, we need to talk about what the benefit of LDAC is over aptX. So basically the benefit of LDAC is that it has a higher transfer of data from the earbuds to your device. That does depend on the device that you are using and the streaming service that you use as well. Now, if you're pretty new, don't really get what codecs are, here's a quick little rundown. Starting with AAC, that's what iPhones use. They have a maximum transfer of 256 kilobytes per second. Then you have aptX, which is 384 kilobytes per second. That's what Android phones use. And a newer version of aptX is aptX Adaptive, and the latest version of that goes up to 420 kilobytes per second. And then you have LDAC, which is also an Android specific codec, which goes as high as 990 kilobytes per second. Now, like I said, if you have an iPhone, you can't take advantage of aptX or LDAC, so no point getting the HS here. And most Android phones utilize aptX and LDAC, but not all of them utilize aptX Adaptive, which is a newer chip. You can Google it and find what device actually does work with it. So now you have your Android phone that's compatible with LDAC, connect your earbuds, go to settings, and make sure you enable the LDAC codec in the Bluetooth settings. And when you turn that on, you are gonna get a couple of % improvement in sound quality, even if you're using more low quality streaming services like Spotify, because at least now the maximum amount of transfer of data Spotify can do is 320 kilobytes per second. So if you really want to take advantage of a codec like LDAC, you'll have to use a streaming service like Apple Music, which has CD quality lossless, or Tidal takes it a step further. I think it goes as high as over 1400 kilobytes per second. So if you use those streaming services, chuck on your LDAC codec, you're gonna notice a couple of extra percentage improvements. It's very subtle differences. I notice sometimes a bit fuller bass, slightly better clarity, but you really have to be looking for it. This is quite a niche thing, and honestly, most people won't really notice it. Comparing even AAC, 256 kilobytes per second to LDAC, 990, it's not 3 times as good. It's like a couple percentage better. Generally, when you're using these high quality streaming services, you want to plug some headphones or earphones directly into your phone, but even then, phones have a limited amount of power that they can push to these headphones and earbuds, so it's still even a little bit limited in that way. So that's basically the only benefit of LDAC. They do have some negatives as well though, so your battery life is going to be reduced by around 20%, and in some cases your connectivity can not be as stable. In my testing with the HS in the gym in a pretty crowded environment, I had no issues with dropouts at all though. But in terms of battery with LDAC, I got 3 hours and 57 minutes at 70% volume, and that was tested on a Samsung S10e with obviously LDAC enabled. Now in terms of latency, here are the results I got in my gaming test. When it comes to video latency, all pairs are fine, but since they are using different chips on the HS here, they still have a low latency gaming mode. I wanted to just make sure I double check that to see how close it was to the Air3 and the Air3 Deluxe. So there you go, that's basically it. Is it worth upgrading for you? Let me know in the comments. But now probably the more important question you are asking is if you should upgrade from your Air3 to the Air3 Deluxe or the Air3 Deluxe HS. And the quick answer is yes, you probably should, because both the Air3 Deluxe and the Air3 Deluxe HS are now compatible with the SoundPEATS app, and this is gonna give you 2 really good benefits. The first is the ability to turn on and off in-ear detection, because on the Air3, the in-ear detection just isn't the best. I noticed when I place my earphone down, face down on the table, the in-ear detection would think the earbud is in my ear, and it got pretty annoying, so you have the option in the app just to turn it off, which I personally prefer. The second really nice feature is the EQ customization, because comparing the Air3 to the HS here, they sound basically exactly the same. The HS I noticed had slightly less bass, like 2%. It was very hard to notice any difference. So across all pairs, it's the exact same tuning, but it doesn't really matter with the less bass, because the biggest issue with semi-in-ear earbuds and the Air3 is that they're a little bit lacking when it comes to bass. So now you can just jump in the app and increase the bass a little bit. It's mainly just increasing mid bass. You can turn the sub bass slide all the way up and it's not going to do anything. So you're definitely not getting bass levels comparable to like the AirPods 3. They still have the best actual sub bass in a semi-in-ear fit. But still, even increasing the mid bass just adds a fuller, richer bass response. It's a more open bass response. It works great with electronic music, and it just makes the earbuds sound a whole lot better. And even venturing to some pretty high volumes, the bass still doesn't distort, which is very impressive for the half in-ear fit. You've also got some presets there. They don't work really well because I don't think they're specific to the Air 3 version of the earbuds here. And you also have an adaptive EQ, which you kind of run through a test, like a hearing test, and adjusts the sound according to the hearing test. For me, it just made them sound really weird, so I just play around with the EQ, but it might work for you. So that's basically it. Another small upgrade comparing the Air 3 to the Deluxe and the HS is that you get more total battery life. The case is slightly larger, but they're still very small cases. And just to be sure, let's run through a quick microphone sample comparing the Air 3 to the HS to make sure it has the same microphone. Here's a sample.
All right, so here I am in the outside world, currently recording off my iPhone 12 Pro so you can get an idea of how noisy it is out here right now. All right, so here we are with the SoundPEATS Air 3 microphone quality. It's a little bit windy right now and you've got cars zooming past here very fast on this motorway. All right, and here is the call quality of the SoundPEATS Air 3 Deluxe HS. I'm curious to hear if it's exactly the same as the Air 3, hopefully slightly better.
All right, so that wraps it all up. In my opinion, if the Air 3 Deluxe is cheaper than the HS, I reckon just go for the Air 3 Deluxe, unless you want that little bump up in audio quality with the LDAC codec. And if you do use high quality streaming services, then this might be a good option for you. But that wraps it up. If you want more information on the Air 3, be sure to check out my full review. I go into all the details of the buds, the comfort, the fit, all that good stuff. So check that out. In the meantime, stay picky. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.